Hello everyone, and welcome to my Wrath of the Lich King beta testing part 15. In today's episode I got some news regarding Coldwater Flying for alts, Earlham Gear and some other stuff, so sit back and enjoy the video. If you have a level 80 character with Coldwater Flying, you can go to the vendor and purchase the Tome of Coldwater Flying. This is a book, or well, a tome you can send to an alt character at level 68 or higher to learn Coldwater Flying. So on your alts, you can start flying in Northrend the moment you get into the zone. Some of you would also like to know if the bind on account enchants, for example the Helm and Shoulder enchants, can be sent to alts. So I tested this together with the Coldwater Flying, and yes, I was able to send it to an alt character. On this level 70 Death Knight, I could learn the Tome of Coldwater Flying, but of course I can't use the head enchant yet, I still need to reach level 80. But this is definitely a time saver for when you make an alt in Wrath of the Lich King. Some of you might be familiar with the level 80 epic ring you can purchase in Intellerin for 8,500 gold. You might also have noticed that these rings are unique, but you can use two of the different versions at the same time, so for example a DPS and a healer ring at the same time. But what you can also do is to upgrade your ring, and when you do this it becomes even better, but also gets a new name. By doing this you can buy the previous ring once again and in some way use two of the same rings at the same time. And for those of you who are curious about the ring cooldown, yes, they will all share the same cooldown. So no matter how many of these you purchase, you can only use one teleport every 30 minutes. I've recently started testing different heroics, and a nice little feature that I noticed is that you no longer forget to loot your emblem of heroism, simply because whenever you kill a boss, you will automatically get this to your currency tab. This wasn't in the original Wrath of the Lich King, so it's a nice little feature to make sure you never forget these. There's been such a high request to test the Earlham Gear, and mainly if you can send this to another faction. So if you play Horde, can you send this to Alliance or the other way around. But also if you can enchant your shoulders with different enchants and use them on a level 1 character. So on this Horde character, I tried to send the Earlham shoulders to my Alliance Mage GuideMMOs. The mail is sent successfully, and on my Alliance character, I can pick up the shoulders in the mailbox. One thing I immediately noticed is that the stats on the Earlham Gear is bugged. Right now I'm on a level 60 character, but the stats is equal to as if I equipped these on a level 1 character. At least we can send the Earlham Gear to different factions. But what will happen if I enchant this with for example some shoulder enchants from next Ramas? The enchant is applied successfully, so now I'm curious about one thing. What will happen if I send these shoulders to a level 1 character? So when I picked up the item in the mailbox, I sadly noticed something. The next Rama's enchants will require you to be level 60 for the stats to apply to your character. So I guess this is bad news for those of you who already have a low level twin character with the shoulder enchants, but also for those of you who kept these enchants to make an insanely overpowered low level character in Wrath of the Lich King. In the beginning of Burning Crusade, there was a limited event where you could win a Tabat, but also a Pit. These are no longer obtainable, but on the beta I've found an NPC that is talking about these two specific items. So maybe there's a small chance that we might be able to collect these items once again. This can be useful for those of you who either plan to play on the fresh servers or reroll a Death Knight. I've also tried to apply high level enchants to the different Earlham weapons, and this is working as intended, so you're not able to apply these enchants. But the stats is definitely not working the correct way. 1 to 0 damage and 15 stamina as a level 80 weapon, that seems completely wrong. So I decided to test how this weapon behaves on a level 1 character and if the stats is exactly the same. When I picked up the item, the stats were exactly the same, so 1 to 0 damage and 15 stamina. This made me curious about another thing. How does 1 to 0 damage look like in combat? Will I even hit the target, or what will happen? To my surprise, this made the target immune, so I'm not able to do any damage to the target. However, even though they're immune, I'm leveling up my weapon skills. But of course this is bugged, and all the Earlham items is bugged right now. I've already reported them, so hopefully they get fixed anytime soon. In Intellerin, it seems like we will be able to pick up 2 different daily dungeon quests. The first one being for a normal dungeon, rewarding 2 Emblem of Heroism, but also a token, and this token will reward 520 reputation with the faction that you choose. And the other quest is for the daily heroic. This will reward you with 2 Emblem of Valor. These you can exchange into some of the best gear in the game, including 25-man versions of tier 7 items. I've had so much fun making all these 15 episodes, but I feel like this is also the end of the series. In the future, I'll instead be working on helpful Wrath of the Lich King videos, and hopefully I'll catch you in one of those. As always, thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.